Right, let's get this started. Every time I've done this intro, I have forgotten to mention what I'm talking about, and then gone on a random tangent, so let's not do that this time. My name's Oisin. I am an artist of some sorts, and I originally have been kind of always done digital for a long time, dabbled with other things, but digital for finished pieces. And then I had an identity crisis with digital and stopped liking digital. I don't know, it wasn't working with just wasn't clicking for some reason. And now oh, there's a cat. Hello, this is Jesper, and there he goes. Yes, I have had to clean paint off his paws because he is a menace. Besides the point. Anyway, I started oil painting. That's what this is all about. I started oil painting, and I've been oil painting for a month-ish. I don't know. I have not kept any dates. I've been very lazy in that aspect. I didn't even think I was going to do a video on this. So, you get what you get, and I don't quite know what this is going to be. But anyway, been oil painting for a month, and one thing I noticed was that most oil painting introductory videos are by people who are not beginners. Which makes sense, because they are not beginners. So they know what to sort of give advice on. But you don't see too many videos that are, I'm a beginner, and I suck at oil painting. Here's my first month of oil painting, so you can laugh at the absolutely awful paintings I've done, and so I decided I'd do one of those. So if you're thinking of getting into oil painting, or you've started oil painting, or you're a pro at oil painting, then hopefully you get something out of this. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy doodling in your sketchbook while this plays in the background. My incoherent rambles. Ironic, I couldn't say incoherent properly. Anyway, so firstly, what did I start off with? So I actually already had ambitions to start oil painting like over a year ago. So I'd already purchased, or got for my birthday or something, a set of oil paints. These are the Georgian Daler-Rowney oil paints set. And I'd also got this Alkyd medium, odorless lean. It's a lie, it smells quite bad. And I'd also got some of these random brushes. So, there's not really much point doing the whole, like, showing thing. You can see my awful looking hands. I'll talk about these for... Sorry, my watch has distracted me. So, I'll talk about these for 2 seconds. I cannot comment whether they're good or not, because I haven't done anything other than that. I will say, if you would like me and you want to do portraits, I don't actually recommend getting a set with green, because I haven't used that once. I've had no need for green when I have blue and yellow. It's as simple as that. I don't know. I have another oil painting set I want to try, so it will be obvious whether these are good or not after I do that. So for now, this is what I'm working with. So every painting is being completed with these oil paints, okay? So that's a good place to start. It's really all you need. Would have liked another yellow ochre or something, which it's on its way anyway. So, I have no knowledge of painting, really, whatsoever. I tried gouache before, and don't mind me, and failed miserably at gouache. I tried it so many times, it had just never worked. I tried it for like a year, like ongoing process of sucking at gouache. I like markers, but in general, I'm more of a digital artist. I might shove some digital art on the screen so you can kind of see what you're working with here. But anyway, not a painter, oil painter, etc. to say the least. So, I don't know why I started exactly. As I've said, I think I started having a little bit of a weird disconnect with digital. I just didn't enjoy it. I shouldn't be drinking tea on camera. That's not the content you want to see, and I'll probably be too lazy to edit out me drinking tea. Anyway, so I basically started feeling a little bit of a disconnect between digital and, I don't know, it just wasn't fun anymore. And I still do love digital. I've been doing digital since I was 12 or something. It's like 6 years. So a long time. So anyway, I'm a bit divorced from digital, so we started oils. So I started oils with a dream and no knowledge whatsoever. This is my first oil painting. I'm not sure how to think of it. It's not awful, it's just not very good either. So this here is supposed to be Cillian Murphy. Keyword on supposed to be Cillian Murphy in Peaky Blinders. It kind of looked like him a little bit more before I stuck another layer on it, and then it really didn't look like him. So, yeah, this is not prepped or anything, it's just a canvas, a really cheap canvas that I just started sticking paint on and hoping for the best. I mean, it's not awful, it looks like a face. It's just not very good, to say the least. Very simply. You kind of see where, it gives you a little bit of hope if it at least vaguely looks like a person. There's not really too much to say about this. And now it's on the floor. And it can go up here somewhere. I haven't really thought this through. You'll see that very obviously. And I look a bit like death, for no particular reason. So just avoid looking at my face altogether. I haven't even organised these in order. Let me just check what I've got next. So I don't even know exactly what order, if these are in a correct order, in terms of how I painted them, because the first kind of week or so of oil painting was like a flurry of like chucking paint on things and then seeing if it looked like anything worthwhile. So the second one, or maybe the second one, I don't even remember if it was the second one, is also not very good. It's worse, arguably. So this is supposed to be Buck from 911. And it, honestly, this is atrocious. It is atrocious. I got this canvasy paper stuff with this, like, I don't like it. I just prefer normal paper that's been gessoed, I found. Because it's weirdly floppy and there's not a huge amount you can do with it afterwards. So, yeah. There's not much to say. It's awful. It's, you can say as much as you want, it's a learning experience and la-di-da, but bleh. Yeah, stop. You can go back here. Just don't look at it. So after that I was feeling a little bit like dismay, not hugely full of joy and ambition, because those were my first oil paintings. But then my next one, this was what solidified that I wanted to oil paint. Okay, I cannot kind of stress that enough. Like, this is what solidified that I wanted to continue trying to oil paint, and that is this. Now, I'm just going to get out of the way. You will see quite a lot of Buck and Eddie, and 911 in general. There's a few. I kind of just paint what I want to paint. There's no real deep, meaningful reason to a lot of it. If I want to draw, I don't know, my characters that I find cool, that I find hot, whatever, I will paint them. And do I want to get to the stage where I just want to paint them kissing each other? Maybe. That's for me to know and you to find out. So, but I love the colours with this one. The truck is a travesty, don't even look at it, but it's like, look at Edie. Like, look at him. He kind of looks cool. I'll stop showing you this, but this gave me hope. This gave me hope that I was kind of getting somewhere, okay? And that hope was then ruined by this. Do you feel this is unfair because it's not even finished? This is, as I started doing an underpainting of some sort. Then I started doing an underpainting with linseed oil, which is a no-no if you know anything about oils, because it takes far too long to dry. So I still don't 100% know the whole deal with solvents and mediums and such, but in general, I have a solvent, I don't use it, so I mainly use mediums. I mainly use my Alkyd medium that I have, which I'll go into a little bit more later, but, so this is not finished. I just gave up, because I do that quite a bit when I can't really be bothered continuing, because I'm a sort of person with this initial stage that I'm kind of more interested in quantity rather than quality. Like, I think I can learn a lot more with a 3 hour sort of doing an artwork that takes me 3 hours that isn't properly finished than continuing with something I've lost hope in at the very start. So yeah, I might go over this with Gesso and do something else on this board sometime else, but anyway, that can go there. Now we get into, sorry, I'm back here now, sketchbook. So I was quite intrigued by artists who paint in sketchbooks, because I think oil actually gets a really bad rap as a medium in terms of its versatility sometimes, because like whenever you say, oh, I'm painting with oils, people are like, wow, aren't you waiting for like, I don't know, 500 years for it to dry? And one thing to say first about what I'm trying to do with oil painting, I really want to paint alla prima. Like, I want to be able to paint majority in 1 or 2 sessions. Like, at least right now. I don't really, while I'm especially learning oils, I don't really want to be waiting a week between layers, because I follow quite a few alla prima artists, and they are really impressive. Like, I find them really impressive, and what they do, anyway, I'm just gonna leave that thought there. So I started painting in my sketchbook, which is very possible when you gesso the pages, and at least 1 or 2 layers of gesso, etc. So this was the first one. This was the first one, if you can see it properly. You see there are really big ugly borders, which I am fixing a bit later, so I wouldn't worry too much. Louisa Pointe-Dulac from Interview with the Vampire. And I mean, it's not bad. It's an experiment, would be the best way to put all of these. They're just, don't worry too much about the result, it's more about the process. It's more about learning while doing it. This was one of the ones though I did realise the brushes I'm using currently are not working for me, which we'll get onto a little bit more later, but but yeah, I like painting on paper, essentially, and I do actually have a date for this one, the 5th of October, so I did not date all of these, which is a problem. This one actually is upside down in my sketchbook, because I didn't check what orientation it is before I did anything, and this is a painting of Eddie Diaz from 911. It's a bit funky. I mean, I'm not quite sure what's going on with his eye. Like, this eye here, the red, looks like a disease. It doesn't look that great, but the proportions aren't bad. It's just, again, another sort of experiment, just seeing where we're going. They're all painted with that Alkyd I showed you before, the Odorless Lean, which, as I said, it's not very odorless, so I don't think I really recommend it that much. So, what I got before the next few paintings I'm going to show you is I actually got this Raw Sienna primer. So I mainly got it because one of my favourite artists currently uses it. So I tried it out, and it wasn't immediately very successful. So this here is the first artwork I did with that. There was a gouache painting underneath, so that's why you'll see a little bit at the top there. I don't like this. The colours just were all mixing together, like it wasn't working very well. It was just all becoming a big blob, might be the best way to put it. So I can't say that that's really something I enjoy, when it all becomes a big blob on the page. And next I'm going to sort of, I guess, show you what one of my favourite points of this video is, so I painted this on one day. I painted it quite quickly, it wasn't very good, full stop, okay? Now, I painted this on the same day, quite close to when I painted this one, okay? So if you look at this one, it's not finished. I have not really finished many of the paintings I'm even showing you. I've finished one of the paintings, that's essentially finished, but I don't really finish these properly, but this kind of gave me a second wave of hope, would be the best way to put it. I used a dot grid for this one. I will say I started using grids to focus on the painting. I know people have weird opinions about grids and whether it's a valid form of art and la la la, and honestly I think it is, especially if you're trying to practice painting rather than drawing. You know, I'm not necessarily tracing or anything like that, I'm just making the drawing process a bit easier so I can just get into painting quicker. So yeah, this made me really happy. So it can go here. And we get on to another sketchbook one. I will be doing a sketchbook tour sometimes when I finish this. Okay, this one actually had some bleed through from the other page, but this is a Lestat de Lioncourt. I don't know, the colours are funky. I mean, I did enjoy doing this. I again gave up. You can even see with the nose, there's still the primer underneath. But I mean, it's all practice. You know, this didn't take me ridiculously long, and it made me kind of happy to do. So that for me is a win in my books. As enjoyed doing it, I appreciate what I learned from it, very simply. Now the next painting I did is not so simple because I don't actually have it. I did one for a painting for my friend's birthday, and before I could properly take a photo of it or get this all together, I gave it to her. So I'm hoping there'll be a picture of it on screen now or something like that, so I don't just look crazy. But my biggest takeaway from that was how different it is actually creating a finished piece. It was in that I realised that alkyd mediums are not necessarily your best friend when you're spending a few days doing something. I actually got this alkyd medium. It is a walnut alkyd medium, mainly because the one I was using smelled really bad, and this one, although a little bit more expensive, does smell better. It says it's non-toxic, which I don't 100% trust because it is alkyd, but you still kind of want some ventilation in the room with these because it's not truly something I think non-toxic. But anyway, that one taught me quite a bit when it came to when is a piece finished. Where do you come into difficulties with a medium actually making it dry faster than you want it to, which has not really been a problem for me so far. A likeness of a person a real life person who's actually going to see this artwork. So it was interesting. I did it on gessoed paper, which I can see some of the advantages and disadvantages of some mediums, of some painting surfaces right now. The main difficulty with that one is more that it's a bit hard to put up or frame or anything like that. You kind of just have a piece of paper, essentially. But yeah, hopefully that has been on the screen, and I move on. So I move on to the most recent painting I did, and it's another study, it's another sketchbook study. I did film a time-lapse of it, so maybe while I'm speaking right now, a little bit of the time-lapse will be on the screen, but I messed up some of the lighting in my camera for that, so I filmed a lot of it, but some of the clips were really dark because I don't know anything about lighting. But this here, never mind, let's start there. This here is that painting. So, I actually don't mind it. I think I got a bit, I could have technically gone over this a bit more, I think, today or something, but I couldn't be bothered. I think the shadows is what kind of lets it down. There should be darker shadows through here, but because with Alla Prima, I didn't quite put the right colour down first, I then started not quite fixing it and making it worse, so, yeah, but compared to my first paintings, it is looking a lot better, like if this is because this is a similar colour palette, and then if you compare it to this one, the improvement is pretty obvious, I would say. It looks a bit more fully formed as a painting, even though this was done again pretty quickly. 2 to 3 hours maybe, I'm not quite sure. I forgot to mention something as well. For the painting of my friend, as well as that one, I started using these Rosemary & Co brushes. They took a really long time to arrive because they were coming from the UK. I don't actually use all of them right now because I don't know quite how to use. These are the main 3 I've been using. These 2 I'm not sure. I just haven't been for some reason. It's not rocket science. I have been using this as a brush cleaner, the Masters brush cleaner and preserver. I think I need to find a slightly better way to clean my brushes or etc. I still don't know 100% how to do it. I've never really had to clean brushes before because I've always been digital, so it's very different to what I'm used to. But lastly, I think the most exciting thing that I'm moving on to is new oil paints. So these are the Michael Harding oil colours. So this was the introductory set. I'm particularly excited about it because we have, instead of green, we have yellow ochre. So they weren't actually too badly priced. They were about 117 New Zealand dollars, and I ordered them from Australia. So for 40ml tubes, that's actually pretty good. So I'm really excited to see how these will kind of level up my art and level up kind of what I have access to, I guess. Whether it makes my life easier and it really will be obvious whether these paints, whether they're good or bad. But I guess my main advice or takeaway for other people for this video is just try it out. I think oils are intimidating. They may be one of the most intimidating mediums, I think, because there's so many big talking points about toxicity, as well as slow drying, as well as when you go to an art gallery, they're literally all oil paintings, and you're just like, wow, how am I using the same medium as these guys? So I would say just give it a go. If you're worried about slow drying time, use a alkyd medium. If you're worried about toxicity, don't use solvents and just use non-toxic mediums, and don't use cadmiums. For medium, any surface, did I say medium? Any surface can be used for oil painting as long as you gesso it, and it's really up to you about trying out. I have a I have a board. I have like a wooden board to use next, so that'll be interesting. And I'm so excited. This is turning into an oil paint sketchbook, and I'm about this far through. I've been using this sketchbook for a really long time, but whether I've necessarily been using it every day or anything is a different story. So yeah, I'm quite excited by this process. If you want to stick along and see how I go, then please join. And if you have your own oil paint or whatever art stories, etc., please share them with me. I'd love to know I'm not alone in starting oil painting and all the problems I've encountered. Just remember, it is ups and downs. You will have you can create an amazing painting and a completely ugly painting on the exact same day. I'm going to end with, I think, showing you once again my favourite painting out of them all, and wishing you good luck. And good night is presumptuous, considering you probably are not going to bed right now, unless you are. I don't know. Waving at the camera is not quite my thing, so I guess I'm just going to finish this abruptly, and I'll see you next time.